Target. Target downtown. Can you hear me knocking? I need a goddamn power strip. Oh, we got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got
Jesus.
satin shoes.
I didn't wear them to Target.
Yeah, you got nasty boots.
Oh, who's got cocaine eyes? Not me. Maybe I do. Take a close look. Bloodshot. That's a psychotic episode, not the drugs. What a 24 hours. I don't even want to go into it.
What an hour.
Well, no, yeah, you know what? I mean, I never think that my life can get weirder. It just always does. I just kind of wish it would stop. I mean, people around me from time to time, they get a little worn out by the drama that seems to hang over me like that cloud over Pigpen in Snoopy cartoons. and I get it, like from maybe women I'm dating or buddies I hang out with. Like, it's like, you're just exhausting. And I'm like, you deal with me, 3-4 days a week. I'd like to be me every fucking day and deal with this. I mean, if being around me is exhausting, what do you think being me is? I mean, Jesus, I got McGovern can't bring a power strip to the show. I got Nadine can't put at Devil's Bar in her goddamn tweets. We're not pimping the sponsor. I got to run over to Target like a gopher, like an intern to buy a power strip. And
that was the only good part of my day, was making you go do something.
Well, I suggested at 4:40. Maybe you should go to Target. It's right across the street. But then I took my time, because you know how it is. You go to Target for one thing. I mean, then like 30 minutes later, you're in Trimetry, throwing down peanut M&Ms with fucking Skippy the Box Boy. I mean, it is.
Is that exactly what happened?
Well, you don't go in and out of Target.
I feel like he took mobile uploads, and that's what took a long time.
Well, I was in Wi-Fi. I needed the Wi-Fi for a little while.
You did use the Wi-Fi. You did get used to it because you did tweet while you were over there.
But you know what I did? Is you want to made up time? Is I paid for this thing back in electronics. I superseded the system.
That's always a smart way to do.
I ran an end run. Oh, Jesus, I'm going to spill this.
You're going to spill this one, too, so why don't you...
Oh, that's mine, too, isn't it?
You're surrounded
by... I'm
by
215 with the Diet Coke and the ice water.
This is dangerous.
So to that guy who called me an alcoholic last night, you're a little off.
I'm glad he hasn't met me.
Well, I mean, people are allowed to drink. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, because I just think the guy was really misguided, but...
A little off.
But... There's no law against drinking. And even if you had a drug addiction, there's no law against drinking. And 5 beers in a calendar year does not a problem make. So it's just really all there is to that. But folks are going to wonder what that means. I don't give a fuck. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
Go figure it out.
Pay attention to my life, goddammit, or don't bother me. Anyway.
It is exhausting to be you. Like, I'm exhausted.
I need a nap. I need a nap. Well, here's the bottom line. And I told you this before. Any day that begins with a psychotic episode is going to be an uphill battle.
Because of your beer.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but now you're going to give the AA guy ammunition to say I told you so. I mean,
don't let him win.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, I had 1 beer yesterday. It was my 5th beer of the year. I mean, I'm keeping pretty close track. I mean, I can count to 5 without losing track pretty easy. I was watching the Viking game here at Devil's Advocate with my buddy Jason Lindsay, and I had 1 beer, but it reacted badly with medication I had. And I mean, I had a borderline psychotic episode this week.
I feel like your issue is you didn't have enough beer if you were watching the Vikings game.
Well, I mean,
that's the problem.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of junk building up in here. I mean, there's a lot of material for the beer and the I mean, the beer and the medication, they can get together, cause a little trouble, but when they get into this mess up here, they can fuck shit up. I mean,
he's pointing to his head right now, ladies.
That's a different
ballgame.
Right. That's a different ballgame right there. I mean, that's a different canvas on which to paint. So, but the female voice you hear is that of Jason McGovern. Oh, I'm just kidding. The female voice.
Hi, beautiful voice.
How you doing? No, this is the first female co-host I've had since a lying backstabbing bitch, and I'm not talking about my ex-wife.
I feel like we need to not call names like that.
I didn't say people are. I didn't say anybody their names die. Oh, geez, I let it slip. That's
way to take the high road.
See you next Tuesday. But anyway, let's take a deep breath and let's just try to catch. I mean, the bottom line is, I mean, this is a podcast, so you people don't care what time we started. You don't care what day it is.
No, it doesn't matter.
But my life is a finely tuned watch. I mean, everything is just precise. And we took the air like 45 minutes late, and I'm sweating bullets right now. I mean, basically, I told these two I shot my wad 10 minutes ago in the pre-show, and they didn't even know what I meant. I mean, what are you guys, Mormons? I mean, Jesus Christ.
We try to pretend like we don't hear some things you say.
Right.
You're not the only one.
This mental block that's just we can't even control it. It's just always
I don't want
there.
to visualize anything.
Well, let's get back to the non-backstabbing female co-host of the day, Nadine Babu. Is it Babu or Babu? I can remember. Babu. So, isn't that a cartoon genie?
Yes, it's a couple different things, and then also the Seinfeld character.
Oh yeah. Babu, the Palestinian restaurant.
Yes.
Yes, Babu.
You just got so happy.
Well, no,
she made a Seinfeld
Well, because
reference.
I make Seinfeld references and nobody gets them anymore. And I think it wasn't 100 years ago, people.
No.
It just wasn't.
Doesn't
it's
it make
gold.
you feel old, though?
It's gold, Jerry. It's gold. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, You talk for a minute while I get a drink of water. I think I'm in a mild stroke. Well, it's like 80 in here.
It's not. It's actually pretty chilly.
It's actually perfect.
He's
but-
just
Are you
really
serious?
intense.
I am. I really am. But you know what? I'm appreciative of one of the things I'm appreciative of the folks at 1500 last year is they have an understanding about addiction, recovery, things of that nature. I mean, I could sit down and get ready for a show. I mean, much like this, and all of a sudden we go on, and like right now, you can't tell me that I don't look like some raging junkie. I mean, I'm sweating. I'm a mile a minute, but that's just because my wiring in my brain is completely screwed up.
Just because you're crazy, you mean?
I feel like you've always probably been like this.
Well, I mean, I've been a hyperactive person my entire life. I
Yeah.
mean, when I was a baby in the crib, I started fidgeting with shit. That's how I still do it. That's why PA called me Puffy, 'cause he said I play with the puff in my shirts like that.
As a baby, you never stopped? That young?
I mean, that's when it started. I had a little stuffed rabbit. I just fucked with his ears. It's just like a nervous fidget thing. But so I mean,
That does not surprise you, does it? That
No,
doesn't
I
surprise
feel like
me.
we need actually have some of his family members
Well-
on to give first accounts
well, I mean,
of this.
I've had some professional opinions say that I was predisposed to be an addict because I was intelligent,
Well.
sensitive, and hyperactive.
Yep,
And I
that's
said, well, 2 out of
a
3.
combo.
I'll take 2 out of 3 of those anyway. But I mean, yeah, I was a recipe for disaster. But Nadine is a gopher rube, much like myself, and she's a writer for gopherhole.com. Go ahead and plug what you're doing. Give some people some credentials.
Yes, so we've got goforhole.com, and basically it's an online message board, and we also do original articles for Gopher football, basketball, and even your sport, hockey. Which
What do you mean
Even
what do you
your
mean
sport.
I'll tell you what.
your special sport.
It is not.
Wow, that is talking down.
We're not talking
to
about
hockey.
it. There's not adaptive floor
Holy.
hockey.
Trust me,
Not
I
there's
wish,
anything wrong
I
with
wish I was a hockey fan. I would love to follow a winning team. It would be amazing.
Yeah, you know what? I actually theorized in a moment of absolute honesty the other day, and I've got a few of those from time to time. But I said to a buddy of mine that if I really dug deep down into my love and passion of Gopher hockey, it's probably because I wanted to at some point be behind a winner. I just said, hey, these guys are pretty good.
Right.
I mean,
We
I was
found
like,
our Yankees, you mean?
yeah, well, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I mean, I quit hockey in the 5th grade because I was sick of my toes feeling like they were going to fall. I mean, I just couldn't take it. I mean, and of course, if I'd have stuck it out for another year or two, you kind of get all your shit indoors. But
I mean, you wouldn't even be here right now. You'd be probably a professional hockey player.
oh yeah, that would happen. There's that great hand-eye
He would
coordination.
never run out of energy. He'd be like going
Well,
around.
but,
That's true.
But it would be misguided. I mean, how much shit do I spill? How many things do I knock over?
He'd just be running into the boards constantly.
I'm a disaster. I'm a physical disaster.
I'm a little nervous for my computer right now.
You might want to move it back. You might want to.
Well, the drinks are on the other side of the
Yes.
bag. That helps.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah. I mean, I could have been raised by, Bella Caroli and whatever. I would have been the worst. I could have had the best tutelage. I could have had the best. I could have been in East Germany with people pumping steroids into my baby formula, and I still would not have been able to ever bowl a 100 game. I mean, it's just trust me. There's a low ceiling on this one. There just is. Now, not intellectually, but I mean athletically. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, who are you kidding? I mean, really. I mean, did you see any high school letter jacking around me? No. I mean. And that's
I hope not.
that's not exactly an all-star, like a major league all-star. I'm talking a fucking high school letter jacket.
Right.
I mean, I got nothing to hang my hat on, except for a damn cute little league picture that I put.
Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oh,
Is it on
you
Twitter?
gotta see.
Dude,
Little
what a
puppy.
horrific-looking kid. I mean, if I could go back in time, I'd kill myself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I feel like you would have probably been like a cute kid.
Oh, fuck no.
I don't think you'd be able to pick him out of the picture.
Oh, here,
I
I'll
couldn't
get
pick
it.
him.
On Twitter?
Yeah, I could not pick
Oh
him
yeah,
out.
yeah. You look it up. I don't want.
I'll look it up.
I don't wanna do
I
this.
have TweetDeck. It's easy to do that.
TweetDeck. You and Judd and your TweetDeck.
That's because we're
you're
efficient.
too cool for Twitter. You got to have TweetDeck. You have to tweet like 72 people at once. You're not
Note
plugged in.
to everyone listening, I am a social media person. That's what I actually do for my real
You're a
full-time job.
sociopath.
Social media dork,
No,
it sounds
she's a
like.
social-
Maybe in a
Social
good way.
media.
No, sociopathic media.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Sociopathic.
Master.
Wow.
Dungeon
Master.
sociopathic media master, dungeon master. No, but tell us about Gopher Hole and what you
Okay.
do, because I know you're plugged into football and basketball.
Yeah. So the great
Because the
thing-
hockey didn't want to talk to you.
The great thing about Gopher Hole, it's been around since '96, and it's really the place where all Gopher fans come. I mean, you guys know this. We post every single article. There are tons of opinions. We have a bunch of players. We have a bunch of coaches, a bunch of family members, all posting on there. So a lot of the times, news breaks first. Because obviously, as a journalist, you've got to verify your sources.
I'm
You
not
got to
a
do everything.
journalist. Who are you calling a journalist? Jesus Christ.
As a guy that has a podcast.
As a guy who has talked to journalists.
Yes, as a guy who knows journalists.
yeah, I was affiliated with them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
heard
so
of
a
him.
lot of information like the Tubby Smith firing broke on our site. If a player doesn't qualify, all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's on our site. So we have Gopher fanatics. I don't like to call them rubes. Gopher fanatics
I like
that come
rubes.
to our site, and that's who follows me too on Twitter. It's not people that are just like, oh, they want a headline, they want a couple quotes. Like, if you want to know everything Richard Pitino says, I'm your girl. Otherwise, you're gonna go crazy and unfollow unfollow me.
What
And then I'll unfollow you back.
Oh, do you get
Wow,
petty?
takes
Are you
it
one of those?
personal. Takes it personally.
I'm a little petty. I'm not gonna lie, because especially if I follow you
I have a
because you
rule.
followed me and then you do it,
Well, that's stalking. That's different.
I have software to tell me you unfollows me.
Oh, Jesus. You're so
And
anal.
yeah, so I will know.
I do not want that software. Because I think, and I think I actually, if I saw 2 people unfollowed me, I'd be like, what the fuck did I do?
know.
Did you
What-
cry?
Why
I
is, no, I wouldn't shed a tear, but I'd go, what happened?
I don't get
What
it.
did I do? What's wrong with me?
yeah.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
think
with
that
you.
there's something wrong with them usually.
Okay, well, it's good to just project it out. Yes, that's another way
Well,
of doing it.
I mean, I have a rule of thumb. When it comes to unfollowing or blocking somebody,
Yeah.
I won't do it unless I hate you. No, that's not the rule. No, the rule is we can disagree, but as soon as you say, "Oh, go smoke some crack, Dubay," or something like that, then you're
Yeah.
done. Like the guy last night, I blocked.
Bye.
I blocked that guy last night.
For me, it's all about personal attacks. If you
Yeah,
can,
exactly.
you can argue
Exactly.
a point and make some good points, and I don't care if you disagree with me,
Well,
but be respectful.
And then we all know. I mean, you being from a website as well, the internet bully is just the scourge of our generation.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the don't put my real name up.
Nameless, faceless.
Yeah, and I just take pot shots at you, and then
If your Twitter picture is an egg,
Yeah.
screw you.
And
Well,
they're tweeting from their parents'
yeah,
basement.
yeah, yeah.
For sure.
And then, in you know, fairness,
Mouth breathing.
I'm stupid enough to fall for it 9 times out of 10 because I'm petty and insecure. So I mean, you take a shot at me, I'd flap the handle. I used to. That's the old me. Now
Yeah.
I'm much more calm.
Now you block.
Yeah, I just say yeah.
It's
I give him a
easy.
cyber.
Don't you wish you could block people in real life?
That would be
That would be
brilliant.
pretty cool, but
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
Like, I would just
Well,
not
you
see
just-
Jason right now. I'd be
No.
like...
Well, get a gun, just fucking take him out. I mean, that's
That's one way.
one
Not
very
the one I
damaging.
advise.
No.
but-
So let's get into some Gopher stuff.
Go
We've
first.
been psychotically ranting. I've been psychotically ranting and sweating up just a storm doing so.
Yeah.
But
Do you want to take 60 and gather yourself?
oh God, that's right. We have commercials now. We're so.
This is fancy.
Well, things are we're cracking.
It's a real show.
I
It's
feel like-
just becoming one.
Yeah.
If Montgomery would stop swearing and fucking up the damn
I
power
mean,
strip shit.
Fuck that.
If you can expense a power strip, you're a big deal.
Isn't that the name of a morning show? The Power Strip Morning Show? I thought it was. I thought it was. Let's take a quick 60.
Okay.
You know, folks who've listened to the show, they know that I lived in the Uptown area here, right down Pleasant Avenue, as a matter of fact, and on the corner of Pleasant Lake is where Uptown Pond is. And I have been here numerous times, had numerous business dealings with them. It's just a nice place with good, honest people. Bob Jacobson, the owner, you run the place. You've always been good to me.
Thanks, Jeff. We try. That's part of our business. We're here to help people, and so everybody walks in the door. We hope we can help.
Well, what I've always appreciated is when people are nice to people who are the low man on the totem pole. Like when I was a bat boy, I liked the star guys who were nice to the bat boy.
Right.
And I mean, I came in here and you guys didn't know who I was. You didn't know I had a radio show, and you
Right.
treated me great. I mean, just
Right.
the guy off the street.
Listen, that's the idea with I think a smaller family type business. Somebody walks in the door. We don't want to let them see. Everybody gets treated the same way, and we hope that's the case. And
Yeah.
we don't want to see them leave without. We try our very best.
It's really easy. It's easy. It's low pressure. Good, honest people. Right on the corner of Lake Street and Pleasant Avenue. You guys got to check out Uptown Pond. Good folks at Uptown Pond. You know, when the March experiment melted down, the Dubay podcast of 1.0. You know, I had a lot of people saying, "Hey, you know, you gotta get a podcast. You gotta get on the air." And you know, we missed the show, and it was really nice and flattering. But I mean, I didn't have the heart to say, "No, I got to do something that pays me." Because if I just do a freebie podcast, I mean, I'm gonna be dead in a month. Yeah, because I owe the mob a lot of money, and if I miss a payment, I'm okay. But anyway, the long story short, people like Uptown Pond are the reason I can do the show, because now I can just basically jerk around like this and get paid for it. So I mean,
Thank you, Uptown Pond.
So places like Devil's Advocate, Burger Rose, Uptown Pond,
Yeah.
they are either somebody who's done a service to the community or just brought a plague upon you. That's for you to decide. If you believe it's the former, not the latter, then you could go and visit those fine businesses.
Good karma.
Thank you. I think I said that right. If you like them. But anyway, I digress. By the way, you drinking red wine through a straw over there, classy?
That is the best. Because she's got
I can't wait till she
the
slurps the
sportscaster's mic in
Yeah.
front of her, so
Yeah.
she can't take a sip.
Wait till she
but-
gets to the bottom. It makes that slurpy sound.
And who thinks outside the box for that? And by the way, this is the best podcast ever, because I've never been on any kind of radio appearance where
Really?
I can drink.
Oh, it's
Oh,
the
yeah, you
best.
can.
I
It
love
makes
it.
everything better.
We did it once, but we had to be really underhanded about it because we talked about this earlier. It was because of my affiliation with Sam Adams. Because you
Right.
have John Wegner you're talking to, and then you know, a couple times a year, Jim Cook would fly into town,
Yeah.
and he'd walk in with a six-pack, and he'd crack it. He'd hold it up to him. I mean, we're trying to get him to not get us fired, and he'd hold the bottle up to an open mic and pop the top off to get that sound effect. And it's like, oh, thanks for keeping it down the down low there, Jim. He's an aggressive dude.
Jen's the best, though. Jen Wagner, now McKinnon, is the best.
Okay. This is back in the day. This is when she was single, so she can't be pissed about this. But we were in a charity golf tournament. It was me and Jen, and you know, just three blue collar, big, chubby guys with beards, playing some golf, just to scramble. And I mean, it'd been a long, hot day. These scrambles, they take forever. We're just all exhausted. We're ready to go home. And we get like the 15th hole, and we all just stopped in our tracks, mesmerized, for a good 60 seconds while Jen Wagner stood at the ball washer doing this. And we're just like,
he's motioning with his arm,
you
just so you guys
they know that
know.
motion. I think everybody knows.
Well,
motion.
I know it, but you've got four guys. It's like a moment from a bad movie. But you just got four guys with their jaws dropping open with the hot girls at the ball washer.
Yeah,
but it was a great moment.
And I can say this because she's one of my good friends. For all you guys that don't know,
hot?
she was a U of M dance line girl.
I didn't know that.
Hello.
Yeah, so she's dance line.
My ex-wife was a cheerleader.
Congratulations.
Don't congratulate me. That is inappropriate.
Jen's not crazy.
Inappropriate.
So Jen's awesome. She's got not only is she super smoking hot, she's hilarious. She's got a great personality. We did a Mom's Gone Wild trip to Mexico. I'm a non-mom. I was the non-mom on the trip, and she was the one
That's the wild part.
dancing on the bar with me after Minnesota beat, I believe it was Michigan State, in the Big Ten tournament a couple years ago. And she is just an absolute blast. So
Yeah. Well,
hopefully she's listening because she texted me about you.
Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, her and I were single
She'll
together.
love to hear that story.
Her and I were single in close proximity for many, many years. She had her chance.
I don't feel like you had a chance.
No chance. Are you
No.
kidding? She's not on my planet.
She's like, she's more like a 10. And what would you rate?
What are you trying to say?
I
by
mean,
the
you
way?
seem like a Jesus Christ.
Yeah, self-deprecation is one thing, but
Yeah,
you
but you
can't
come in
just
and
slam them too.
I mean, I thought
Jason, what would you say if I thought you had a better chance?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, maybe he shaves his rapist mustache off. Jesus Christ. But I mean, I've been with some good-looking women. You have no idea. I've been with some.
I'm so impressed.
But I've also done some settling. I mean, it is what it is. I'll leave it to them to decide which is which.
I was gonna say.
You're all winners.
Is there a current?
To take another
do we
line
call
up,
anything current settling or?
To take another line from Seinfeld. You're all winners. Yeah. So anyway, let's finally talk a little Gophers because
Yes, let's.
I'm not going to be. For one thing, I was talking to you about this earlier. I have a really bizarre relationship with Gopher football fans.
Yeah.
It's mostly Judd's fault because they
hate him.
Well, because he started, and he thinks it's fun to have people hate him, and I don't like having people hate me. but
Suhan's like number one enemy, then it's Judd.
I know, and Judd and Suhan are two of my best media friends, and
Yeah.
they both have got me on the shit list for Gopher football fans. I mean, I've been going to Gopher. I've gone to
He
Gopher.
gives us a wave. Judd waves.
But it pisses me off when Gopher football fans like question my loyalty. I mean, I was sitting.
So I would like to clarify this because I actually had some guys at my tailgate come up to me about you and complain about you.
It's unbelievable.
So what exactly did you say about Jerry Kill and the seizures?
No, I'll get to that. But I'm going to tell these asshole friends of yours.
My wonderful friends.
I sat in Memorial Stadium, watched Tony Dungy in a gold uniform, wearing number 9 and play quarterback. I drove to Shreveport, goddamn Louisiana, in a minivan to watch a goddamn Independence Bowl in 1985. Don't ever put yourself ahead of me in the Gopher pecking order. I went to the goddamn Liberty Bowl, and I was going to fight with Elvis's ghost because they got fucking penalty on Ricky Foggy for throwing him out of bounds. Jesus Christ.
He's gonna blow.
I know. No, but when somebody decided to get season tickets the second year of TCF Bank Stadium, wants to get on me about being a Gopher football fan, I said in Purdue, I watched Chris Darkins and Jim Wacker take this team to the verge of bowl eligibility. Not Purdue, Illinois. And only to have the timekeeper in Champaign screw us so hard by not running the clock when Illinois had the ball. And the people know what game I'm talking about. It was in the 90s. You remember the 90s? I remember the 90s, but barely. But I mean, I've been there. I've fought the wars. I've been on the front lines. Like Sean Hoffman, tweeted me something the other day.
Sean Hoffman from the Gophers?
Yeah, that's what I'd be telling the story for Sean Hoffman from fucking Bismarck.
He lived with me in my freshman year in the dorms. He's a good guy.
Well, I mean, he tweeted something about Gopher football because I think it might have been after we lost to Illinois and I was pissed about it or something. So he's like, telling me to take it easy. I saw the name and I'm like, you know what? I was in Iowa for your last Big Ten game ever. I mean, he's a senior.
He had a great game.
But they fucking should have lost that game. I mean, Iowa was 1-10. They were terrible. And I mean, the Gophers were 8-3. I mean, that was a good team.
Yeah.
And that's the team that beat Oregon in a bowl game. But I mean, it came down to a 2-point conversion. It was either a 2-point conversion or a 4th down play right at the goal line, right in front of us. And Hoffman dove and knocked it away.
Yep, I remember.
The game-saving play. On a defense that had some talent. Tyrone Carter played a little. I mean, they had a few guys. But again, I need to take a breath. Talk amongst yourselves. Here's the topic. God, I got to remember to breathe.
You do need a little break.
How do you deal with this? How many times a week?
Well, what do you mean deal with? I sit here and push a button, and then he just does this.
Are people's ears supposed to sweat like that?
I don't think so. And it's
human being. No wonder
it's like 5 degrees out. It's really
More water, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly,
Keep the water coming.
I'm not usually this hyper. I mean, I'm usually hyper.
No, you're a little
hot.
more hyper than usual.
I know.
Tonight.
It's just been a weird day, and I don't want to go into the details of it. But again, if you wake up and you don't remember your name and you're completely stone sober, that's a psychotic episode.
I think you're doing pretty well for that happening.
I remember your name. I mean, I know who you are. But at least I'm getting. I didn't call you Dave Harrigan. I mean, I'm starting to understand.
You did start out saying I was a female, but I do think that was a joke.
Well,
I
mean,
hope.
you weigh 80 pounds and have breasts. But
I would honestly, I'd love to have your figure. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
I would love to put on about 100 pounds. So.
You know what's really embarrassing for me is but it's embarrassing and it's not. But I mean, I was like about around the turn of the year when ESPN fired me. I was about 195, and I went to the doctor today. I'm 220.
Devil's advocate.
Well, I know it's
all devil's advocate.
It is devil's.
The food here is good.
Yeah.
220. But I mean, the nice thing is, being always hypersensitive about what other people think, and always I get really defensive if somebody says you're out there doing the wrong thing. I said bullshit. I just gained 30 pounds. You find somebody? No, seriously. If
you were addicted
to
to anything,
if you're on Cracker Meth,
you do
are
not put on pounds.
You look like Montgomery. Yeah, seriously.
And I am not, just for the record.
You don't seem like you are.
Record,
We're not starting
rumors.
No, you would need my personality in his body. Then
I would be suspicious.
Yes, that's a combination for death right there.
Yeah, if I'm sweating like that.
God, I'm disgusting. I'm not even moving. I'm just sitting there. It's like Homer Simpson. I sweat when I eat. It's just disgusting.
You're really intense.
I wasn't. Like when you got here, I was practically taking a nap.
No, you were really intense because the second I came in, you were like.
Well, but that's because I flipped the switch. I mean, I'm serious. I asked the guys when I came in here. It was like 3 o'clock. There's nobody here, and I said to, I forget that Justin, the skinny like heroin chic looking waiter who went home.
Oh
already.
yeah, that guy.
I told him that I was going to come back here and take a nap, and I mean I almost stopped at that table on the way. I could almost hardly get back here. I mean I was barely awake.
I gave you your second win.
I'm telling you right now, at 6 o'clock. Oh, it is 6 o'clock. Well, when the show's supposed to end, I'm going to curl up under that table over there and just I'm going to hibernate.
Good, I'll take a picture and I'll post it. Everyone can follow that.
You're what's wrong with the world. You're a TMZ person.
You're what's wrong with the world.
No, it's the fact that you would be curling up under the table. That's what's wrong with the world.
I mean, there was a day where pseudo celebrities could go out and do an 8-ball in a bar and not worry about getting their picture on Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. I would never advocate illegal drug use. That was just a stupid joke.
Oh,
but I mean, in all honesty, I did say on the show, and I admitted heartily and readily, and would stand by it again, that I will have an occasional beer. When I say occasional beer, I mean one beer. I don't typically have more than one, and I do it maybe once a month. And the reason I was more than happy to say that, even though you're going to have the goofballs that will say, oh, God, you're a recipe for disaster. I think one thing in recovery, and somebody tried to have a recovery minute on the show, just to try to reel in the sanity, or reel in the insanity, and, put it back a little positivity. Well, the thing that's wrong, I think, with the recovery paradigm, is the one size fits all cookie cutter mentality. Like because this guy over here, if he gets a whiff of the Miller Brewery, he's going to disappear for 2 weeks and wake up in a Super 8 in Des Moines with a crack horn and 8-ball. That's fine for him. I mean, God bless it. There are people like
That's
that.
fine for him.
But no.
Good for him.
Go for it.
Each their own.
Different strokes.
No, I mean, total abstinence is the way for him because he can't.
No, he would have. Yeah, he has to be completely.
But just be. I went to AA is an amazing fellowship with a very purely driven motive. Just as selfless notion as you could ever come across, saved millions of lives. But there are people within the organization that miscarry the message. There are people within the organization that become very preachy and self-righteous. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. But I'm doing this not to condemn AA. I'm doing this because people mistakenly walk away from AA because they encounter the wrong people. And I believe many chances to recover are lost by people who miscarry the message. Perfect example. I'm in an AA meeting. This is a few years ago. And I'm hearing this guy, it's a common notion that it's not enough to stop drinking. You're not just there to put the cork in the bottle, you're there to change your life. The drinking is just a symptom of why you're fucked up. It's not the problem, it's a symptom. And this guy was talking about, I heard this guy on the radio today, and I tell you what, he's the definition of a dry drunk. He's cranky. He says he hasn't had a drink or any drugs in 20 years, and he's the most miserable, most ornery, crankiest son of a bitch ever, and he calls himself the common man. I'm sitting 5 feet from this guy going, I didn't say a thing, but I want to say, Dan Cole is the happiest pig in shit you're ever going to meet in your life. He's got a wife he loves. He's got kids. He's living the dream. He's making a shitload of money, and he is sober, and he never went to AA, and he's the happiest fucker in the world that pisses you off because you're miserable, because you've got to go to 10 meetings a week. But there's nothing wrong with going to 10 meetings a week. Just don't hate the people who don't have to do it. I mean, it's just so asinine.
You were so passionate. You were stomping your feet when you went over that.
But that just summarized it for me. I mean, I had people. I have received emails from people saying, you're not in recovery. You never did the steps. It's like I haven't touched a drug in 3 years, 3.5 years, because I didn't.
And for recovery for who?
Yeah,
it's about you, right? Not about them.
But I'm going to say this again. I mean, 90% of the people in AA carry the message properly, including one of my best friends is sponsored. His name is Tim, and he doesn't mind me giving his name because I won't give his last name. But if I did, he wouldn't care because he's out there to help people. But he said to me, he took me to meetings. I went to 120 in 90 days. I pissed off everybody, and I just found out it wasn't for me. And he said, good luck to you, and I'll support whatever you do. And I got clean. He said, we don't have a corner on the market. So.
No,
Exactly.
every person is
Exactly.
diet-wise and
Yeah.
every single way you're different. How you handle things is different.
There's not a blanket way to solve something.
Well, and here's the other thing.
And that goes for all kinds of things in
Yeah,
life.
that's why you have different options.
Well, I've been to treatment 3 times. I'm not proud to say, but it's given me a little background into the business. And I've also got a couple of friends who are counselors in the business. And one thing they preach, and I understand why, but I don't think it's true, is that they get everybody in this circle, whatever, and it's you're the same as this guy. Your story is the same as the guy next to you. You come in and you hear the story, it's your story. And I thought to myself, I haven't heard a story in here that even fucking resembles my story. I haven't heard a story. I'm not saying I'm better, and I'm not saying I'm worse. But what they're trying to do, what they're trying to prevent, is they don't want people sitting around in a circle at an AA meeting or at a treatment center, saying, well, I'm better than this. This guy's fucked up. I thought I had a problem. This guy's a fucking disaster. I don't have to worry about myself. This guy's, and then that's counterproductive.
Isn't that a little bit the truth, though? There are people that are a complete fucking mess, and then there are other people that have a problem, but they're kind of on the edge. Like it's different. It's just different.
And to think that the root of the problem. See, now here's where I got myself in trouble because people thought I was being judgmental. I was a 41-year-old who didn't touch a drug until he was 39 and hardly even had a drink. And my idea of life was a sober life. I had been sober for 39 years, and I had a 780 credit rating, and I was making 6 figures. My life was together. And I'm in a room with a kid he's 22 years old, and he's been a meth addict since he was 7. He doesn't. And I'm not saying he's a piece of shit. I'm saying the root of his problem is different than mine.
Yeah.
He's been a drug addict since he was 7. He doesn't know what sobriety feels
Right.
like.
You missed your whole life.
But yes, that's. So but for me to sit there and think to myself, as I'm somebody who tries to rely on, believe it or not, rational thought and reason rather than spirituality. But I think to myself, there's got to be a better way to get to the root of his problem and the root of my problem than thinking that we're the exact same person with the exact same story and the exact same problem, because we're not. And it's just, I think, but there's some people in AA who just think, well, boy, if you didn't do this. I remember during a Dubay Show last year, I got a little worked up. On the air. That's shocking, I know.
Yeah,
Shocking, as he's wiping sweat from his forehead
I'm so worked
with
up.
a sweater.
This is not normal, by the way. This is
probably-
not a normal deal.
You should wear a tank top next time.
But again, any day that begins with a psychotic episode is
Wife
Get a
beater?
towel.
Is
Get
it
a couple
A
towels.
wife beater?
But I had a guy.
No, please no. I got to work with them.
Jesus, you guys gross me out. All right. There was a guy during the John Dubay show who started emailing me because I was getting in a heated debate with somebody, and he said, "It looks like somebody's got to go do their 5th step over again." So in other words, I hadn't fucking lived to some principle that he lives to. But that just set me off. I was so effing mad at that. It's like just because. There are people, God bless them, that just really are defenseless against alcohol, and they really are they're just on their way to certain death. And this is a way that they kind of reprogram their personality, and God bless them for being able to buy into it. But not everybody. Not everybody can buy into it, and not everybody has to. Not everybody's to that point where they can't. I still can say no to things. Believe it or not. And trust me, people say no to me all the time. But
I don't know if that's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I can. Like when I had a counselor just say to me over and over again, "You have proven that you can't run your own life. You've got to hand it over to God. You got to hand it to a higher power. You just made a disaster." And I thought, no, for 39 years I did pretty fucking good. I've had a 2-year run. Some shit happened. I can run a life.
Yeah, your percentage is pretty good.
Well,
Pretty
not
high.
anymore.
Good batting average.
Well, not anymore. At the age of 41 it was, but in another 5 years I'd be an idiot. It's fucked up.
Still,
the
though.
license.
percentage-wise.
Compared to the 7-year-old guy,
Well, the license.
Way better.
definitely
The license shambles.
way better percentage.
Hey, by the way, how are we doing for time over here? About halfway.
We're about halfway home.
I'm offended by myself at this point. I need
Can I take pictures of you just
no,
wipe-
no,
No, please, no one needs to see that.
I need a corner guy.
With the cold metal. The cold.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, he's like literally dripping.
Well, here's the thing. When
Somebody clean the mouth guard.
when I get hyper and start going, I can't reel it back in. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Should we start talking about Gophers again, maybe?
Oh, that might help.
Oh, yeah, this is what we're
That might help.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
you know
we
what
got
started?
Nadine's here.
Well, what started this whole thing is I got pissed off at Gopher football fans who think, who get on my case. I mean, I've been there. I was at the 1977 Butch Nash Michigan game, 16-0. Suck it, you people. I mean, I've been there.
Okay, you've proven that you
anyway,
like the Gophers.
I love the Gophers, and I love Jerry Kill. But,
Yeah.
but what all started last year when he had his 72nd episode and he missed another game. I don't want to make fun, but he missed a number of consecutive games. And the bottom line is, to be a college football coach, I know this sounds mean, but you do have to coach. I mean, you have to be on the sideline. Yeah. I promise you, Brett Bielema, I promise you, every coach in that conference was knocking on the door saying, "You're going to play for this guy?" I mean, I promise.
They were.
I promise you they were. I promise you. These are realities that people just don't want to face. They're just like, "Oh, how could you say that about Jerry Kill?" Well, I mean, Jerry Kill said it himself 2 years ago. He said, "If I can't do this job, then get rid of me."
Yeah.
I mean, if I can't physically do it. Now, Jerry Kill, I think, is a phenomenal coach, and I think his staff is fantastic. The loyalty, the continuity.
Yeah. It's rare.
And I think he's a style of coach that you have to have here. You cannot bring in a bullshit slinger and try to trick people into thinking you got more than you got.
Tim Brewster.
Well, yeah. I mean, Lou Holtz can do it to an extent. Yeah, but you got what Lou Holtz is good at is going in and making you believe that you've got something that you don't. That way he can get people to buy into it, and then it becomes what he thinks it is. Right?
But he also he played a part in creating that too.
Yeah,
though. Was the difference? I mean, the difference between him and Brewster. Brewster couldn't actually make anything happen. He could just talk about
Well,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Brewster wanted to be a coach, but Jerry Kill wants to coach. I mean,
Jerry Kill is a coach.
Well,
Tim Brewster wanted to be a coach. Jerry Kill is a coach.
Well, I mean, Tim Brewster wanted to tell you about going to the Rose Bowl, and Jerry
And
Kill
grow Rose Bowl grass.
And Jerry Kill wants to teach kids how to block and tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to get you farther? I mean, so it's just.
Well, and that's the one thing too. Now it's like people were so excited with recruiting with Brewster. We get these
shouldn't
4
be.
stars and everything like that. And now it's just.
Well, probably think they were criminals. I mean, I'm not kidding.
Well,
the
and
crime rate
he-
in Minneapolis went up like 20% when that class.
I
got here.
wouldn't go that far.
Right, it was. Well, no, they were a bad group. I mean,
But he had some questionable guys, and
Yeah.
they got in trouble, and
Probably.
a lot of and guys didn't qualify and whatever.
Probably.
Jerry Kill is a completely different model. I'm like, I don't care if we get 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, because I know that he can coach them up. Like that's the difference with him, because he's a coach
I
and he
believe that
develops
too.
players.
I believe that too, but I'm also going to say that every step of the way, he's gotten a little more leeway, a little more rope from fan base than he deserves. They've overrated him a little bit because he's a nice guy and a sympathetic figure. I mean,
And he's likable. People want him to do well.
And he's also taking the gas pipe against 2 horseshit teams in bowl games. He's also about to go 7-6 with a team that was 6-1. I mean, these are things that Glenn Mason got his balls roasted for. And let's not forget that. People love Kill because he's a sympathetic, cute little sweet figure that we feel bad for. And I do too. I love him.
He's not like a wounded puppy on the side of the road.
I think you've missed some of these games, but in all honesty, people.
I've seen every minute of
Well, no,
them.
but no, I mean, you feel me on this. I mean, he gets a little more rope from Minnesota
They
fans
do,
they're
because he's very likable.
He is very likable.
Yeah, and he's also looked
If I
at as
like
being
him-
honest.
Honest?
That's the difference between
Yeah.
Mason and him. Is he's this I'll just shucks. I'll just tell you
It's
how
self-
it is.
And
Like
it's
it,
self-deprecating,
Yep.
and he takes the responsibility for everything. He never throws anyone else under the bus.
Well, sometimes. I mean, he does have a touch of slick salesman to him too. I mean, he's not because I mean he knows he's sincere all the time. I mean, you've got to be a bit of a huckster to be a college football coach and be good at it. But I mean, by college football coach standards, he's honest. I mean, by
and I just mean that's the public image of him. I'm
Right.
not even saying he's
Oh, yeah.
giving you
I
too
think
much
he's a good-
information or even is really that honest. He just
Right.
he puts out that persona of I'm just this guy telling you what it is, and he's got that drawl, and
accent.
that just adds to it. Whereas Mason was I'm media savvy. I'm kind of a prick. Like he came across that way, not even meaning he is. I'm just saying public image.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to play devil's advocate for a second, not just because that's where we are. And by the way, remind me to pimp devil's advocate before the show's over.
Delicious food and drinks, and happy hour goes till 7 p.m.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That was a good start.
And I also got to hit the Justin Moore coat drive that they got going on at Fannie Q in
Yep.
Wichita.
That's great.
That's fantastic. But I mean, again, he went 6-6 and lost to Texas Tech, and Texas Tech was way worse than anybody thought. I mean, Texas Tech was horseshit, and that team went 6-7. And then the next year he goes 8-4, and everybody thinks it's a big deal, but he's 2-6 in the Big Ten, and he beat 4 horseshit non-conference teams, and then he loses to Syracuse, who sucks. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he took over nothing. I mean, he took over the Mojave Desert and started farming.
Well,
I mean,
and it was like all the problems that none of us can even begin to
yes,
understand.
correct.
Because
I mean,
Brewster was
yes.
so shady,
Yes, the stink of
he had to
Brewster's-
clean up. He
yes.
kept on saying how much he was cleaning up
Oh, God.
and just getting kids to go to class.
and here's the thing: he wanted to honor this because the kind of guy Kill is. He wanted to honor the commitments and the scholarship money that these kids have been promised, even though they weren't the kind of kids he wanted in the
Not at
program.
all.
But he honored it, and that's it. He took one for Brewster. And the way I phrased it to people is Brewster's gone, but it's gonna take years to wash the stink off.
Is
the
that a
program.
Bill Smith kind of thing? I mean, how long was Brewster the coach?
Joe Matera's the most
4?
incompetent.
Was it 4?
Joe Matera's the most incompetent
Well, in the middle at
athletic
4
figure.
seasons.
I mean, he had the most worthless athletic administrator I've ever seen.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's a fundraiser. He's a guy who could go out and bang the drum and do the rubber chicken circuit, whatever, or hit up T. Denny Sanford with the I don't know what he do, whatever. but I mean,
we're not going to tell you the hand gesture he
No,
made there, folks.
but I mean, whatever. I mean, the guy could fill the coffers, but he didn't have a clue what he was doing in terms of judging talent and coaching talent and hiring coaches. Dean Hart was good. I mean, I think Dean Hart has the guy had the future, but
We could use some fundraising now, though. I want a practice facility. I don't know about you guys.
Well, yeah.
It's been a lot. Tubby was actually promised that by Maturi.
yeah, we were
That's
promised
true.
that Tubby.
And how many years ago was that?
Okay, we were promised Tubby Smith was going to be a basketball coach, not a.
Well,
figurehead.
there's that.
I mean, he did nothing. I mean, he's a disgusting human being for what he did at this university. He came here.
Tubby Smith is a disgusting human being.
Because he said
He was not successful, but I
dropping
would never
bombs.
say that about him.
No, he made no effort. He came here and collected checks and just sat there and said, "I'm Tubby Smith. I don't have to do this." He put nothing into this program. He didn't coach these kids a bit.
They didn't improve under him. I can say
improve
that.
under
Players got worse under him. And I mean,
He is not a disgusting human being. He's old.
he stole. Tubby
Well, maybe
Smith-
that's why he's
he went through
disgusting.
cancer. He did
Okay,
like-
I mean, I'm not saying he's out there. I mean, he's not Aaron Hernandez. He's not killing anybody. But but that's the. But he stole. Tubby Smith flat out stole from this university. Same way Donovan McNabb stole from the Minnesota Vikings. He was there to collect a paycheck with his name and try to get his son a job, and that's all he cared about. He didn't care about the University of
I
Minnesota.
will not defend the son at all. we could have had a great assistant coach instead.
By the way, Saul Smith couldn't get laid in a horror house with a fistful of 20s. He is the goofiest looking guy I've ever seen in my life.
But actually, he does because he's Tubby Smith's son.
Well, that's pathetic.
He gets laid in a whorehouse with a handful of 20s?
Any woman who would sleep with the E.T. looking Saul Smith because his dad is a coach in Tubby. Jesus Christ, there's pathetic women out there. And thank God for that.
Can we get some callers?
Thank God for
Are there
that.
any callers that,
Oh, God, I
that have
wish we had
slept
the
with
line set
Saul
up
Smith
right now.
that could call in about?
But in all honesty, I was excited when Tubby came here. He came here to just rest on his laurels, to beat Tubby Smith, collect paychecks, and then hand the job off to Saul.
You gotta admit though,
he didn't coach.
He there's something brilliant behind him because he got a great buyout here. He gets a ton of money at Texas Tech. For some reason,
whoa.
he ends up on his feet.
Taking Joe Maturi for millions is not brilliance. I'm serious. It's like making the
You
phone
should have
call.
done it then.
Well, you're right.
If you can get it, yeah.
Well, I mean, how many people haven't gotten buyouts from Joe Maturi? You can't swing a dead cat in devil's advocate without hitting somebody who got a Maturi buyout. That guy over there at the bar got a Maturi buyout. That's why he's not even getting this round either. I mean, yeah, Joe Maturi and what pissed me off too is the year he fired Mason was a year that Mason coached up. It was a rebuilding year that he took some guys and coached up and overachieved and did one of his best coaching jobs, and then took a gas pipe against a very good Texas Tech team, a really good Texas Tech team, but it still lost a competitive game.
And he won those last 4 games that season.
I mean,
and that's how he got to a bowl to begin with.
He coached him up big time that game and that season. Then Maturi sat back and thought, oh boy, listen how pissed everybody is. He'll lick the finger, stick it up, and see which way the wind blowing, and he just is a coward. He doesn't think for himself. Anyway, that move still put this program behind 10 years. I mean, Glenn Mason recruited to the Dome. You know how hard it is to get a kid to play football?
He said that he couldn't even
Dome?
get accessibility there. He couldn't even show guys that because
Can you
there'd be a
imagine?
monster truck rally or whatever there.
Yep.
I mean, do you know what it's like for a kid to walk into Tuscaloosa and they got the idiot redneck PA announcer in the empty stadium going, "Now entering the stadium for the Crimson Tide, Billy Joe, redneck," and
they pipe in 100,000
Yeah.
fans screaming.
Yes, and the kid's got an erection before he walks off the field. Don't act like you're not impressed. What do you mean? But I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Man, that was a brilliant stream of Ron
That
Burgundy.
was very good.
And you know,
channeling. But I mean, but seriously, that kid, he's signing on the dotted line with a bleedy finger before he leaves that field.
Yeah.
And a guy walks into the Dome and he's like, "What the hell is this?"
Like, ugh.
So for Glenn Mason to have the records that he had in that stadium,
and on top of it,
and
he had a 10,000 person student section.
and he built this stadium. The stadium that we were going to today was built by Glenn Mason.
Yeah, he did a lot.
And he would have won there. He would have recruited there, and he would have become one of the elite coaches in this conference. But
How big is the student section now?
I want to say I think I got the numbers last week. It was around 5,400, maybe 6,000.
Okay.
it's getting better, but still not much.
But last year it was under 5,000. I mean, it's half of what it should
And that's
be.
because they didn't show up right away,
Get out of
right?
bed.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's tickets sold. That's not even them not showing up. Mason had 10,000 kids taking those shuttles over to the
Going
Metrodome
to the
every
awful
week.
dome, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then again, my allegiance and fondness of Glenn Mason is based purely on doing a well above average job in a hopelessly bad situation and just wanting people to recognize what a disservice to this university Joe Maturi did. Now they've finally taken things and started to improve them. I mean, it is what it is. Once he's gone and once you're stuck with Brewster, you make the best of it. You get a guy like Kill and you rebuild. And they've done the right thing since then. Had they not fired Mason, they'd be contending for Big Ten title.
Well, because now we're just getting to the point where we were with Mason right now. You know, how many years later?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just got
distracted. Did you get a text from like your girlfriend?
No, it's my buddy who's co-hosting with me tomorrow. He's so paranoid that I'm going to replace him. I mean, he sucks, but I'm still.
Nadine, you want to stick around for another day tomorrow?
No, his name's Jason. He's actually.
Do I get another gift card to Devil's Advocate?
I'm out.
In that case.
I don't have any.
Actually, there's a Gopher basketball game tomorrow night. I can't. Western Kentucky, baby.
Oh, the Hilltoppers Clem? It's the Clem Bowl. That's unbelievable. It's going to be very emotional. But let's talk a little hoops. I'm sure you watched Patino v. Patino.
Yes, I did. Yeah. And I mean, it's a tough game because, I mean, I even said to, I said to your buddy Judd over here.
I can't stand him. What are you talking about?
On Friday night, I said, this is going to really stink if I go on Dubay Show on Monday, and I know we're going to lose Louisville, and then we're going to lose Ohio State, and then I get to come here and talk Gophers. Whereas, like, if you had me on a week ago, we'd just be, a Division II school.
And that preseason.
Iowa, But yeah, I honestly, like, that Louisville team, it's like, those guys are just beasts. They're really good.
Yeah.
And it's so early. I mean, we only played a Division II school. I actually asked Patino that at a press conference. I'm like, would you have liked more time to prepare? And he's like, we're sick of looking at each other. We're sick of playing each other. And that's the thing. This guy just wants it, He's like, I think he feels like he could beat anybody. And those guys really could have rolled over, and they didn't.
I mean, I'd like him. We had him on the show last year at the fair. The little veranda thing. I just thought he was a really good.
He's sharp.
Yeah, really sharp. But he's got that East Coast edge. Like you can see him just walking into any Italian restaurant at 1 a.m. in New York City and get whatever table he wants. Without even having to gesture, without even having to say anything. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's definitely his father's son. I mean, I'm not saying he's like trying to imitate and rip him off, but I mean that apple did not fall
I have no problem with that because his dad is one of the best basketball minds out there.
Yeah.
So
no, he just looks 12 though. That's the
does.
only thing.
Okay,
that's the only difference.
You're a kid who loves basketball. You want to coach basketball, and your dad is one of the all-time great coaches. I mean, how big of an asshole would you be to not want to learn from him?
Yeah.
I mean, Dad, you're going to the Hall of Fame, but I'm 14. I think I can do better for role models. I'm gonna go follow.
I'm going on my own.
No, it is cool that Dad goes to the games and cheers for him and stuff too. Isn't that kind of a cool thing? I mean, it doesn't do us any good.
Dude,
but.
It's great for exposure, though.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's on ESPN and that stuff too.
Like, that was huge. We're on the cover of ESPN.com. It's the only show on everyone's watching
Jesus Christ.
It's huge.
Do you guys ever see The Godfather? It's an Italian family thing. I mean, seriously.
Would you judge me if I said I never saw that?
Are you kidding me?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not even the biggest fan of it, but you at least have to see it.
I know.
Everyone has to see it.
Godfather 2 is even better. Godfather 2 is even better.
I've got a lot of stuff to watch before my next appearance.
But do you like mobster movies?
I love Mafia. I love the Mafia.
So you don't watch the best 2 mobster movies ever? I mean, you've at least seen Goodfellas.
I really like Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is the third. Goodfellas is the bronze medal.
Okay, because that's like one of my favorite movies.
Godfather's 2 number 1. Godfather 1 is number 2, and then Goodfellas is 3. That's the
holy. I feel like I would have been
trifecta.
good in the Mafia. Like, I mean, even like the sneaking in diamonds in your hair. My hair's pretty full. I could like sneak that in, and I wouldn't crack
diamonds in your hair.
I wouldn't crack under pressure. Didn't you see that in Goodfellas?
Oh yeah,
it's in the hair.
I thought that was dandruff. No, you're right. No, you're right. I remember that. But I mean, I'm not sure what kind of a role you'd have in the Mafia.
I think I'd be good.
I mean, well, you got such a Bruno Maglia too, yeah.
I have what?
Never mind. He's what was that his name?
Oh, what?
No, what was the guy? No, Luca Brasi, the hitman, the big tough. He's not a good-looking man. He was a killer. He's Luca Brasi. He's a tough, scary Italian hitman. So I was kind of taking a shot at you, but since you didn't see the movie, it's just
thanks.
Well, had you seen the movie, it might have been funny. Now it's just mean. I'm just that guy.
If you got the reference, it might have been. You would have been like, dick. But otherwise, now you're like, really, you're seriously a dick.
Yeah, you would have seen the humor. You would have thought self-deprecating.
You know what? I took a shot at you. You take a shot at me.
No, this asshole thinks you're Luca Brasi. Then you sleep with the fishes. That's the line. Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. But this is the most insane radio.
You want to take another 60 to take a break?
God, we do have another. Thank God.
We need to take our Twitter questions too.
Oh, and we do have questions.
God,
we've got Grill the Host. We've got all kinds of
we're
stuff.
We're going to be doing that.
Did I tell you about Grill the Host?
I
don't know
mentioned
about
it to her, and I knew I didn't even have to tell her about it because I think she can do it.
We'll fill you in after this break.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Okay, last year, 2013, I lived just down the road, Pleasant Avenue, just a few blocks here from Uptown Pond, which is right on the corner of Lake and Pleasant. And, there are a couple of times, you just try to get to that next payday, maybe a couple of bucks short. If you've got some items, jewelry, diamonds, electronics, I mean, you come down here, and they give you a fair price for it, and then you come back a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever, you get it back at a real reasonable price.
So we're very competitive, we hope, in different ends, in different offices. Computers, electronics, CDs, jewelry, We buy with loans, and we also have emphasis on dining room too. That we also trying to prep for the best we can. We expect this in that area also. So it's an all-round sort of combination.
Well, it's a great place. It's a nice, clean place with honest people, and I tell you what, it's got a real family feel to it. As a matter of fact, it's Strauss family, and I go way back. This is Lake Great Gary. So, I mean, these are people I know and people I trust. You can find them on Twitter, too, by the way. They're at Uptown Pawn, also on Facebook, Uptown Pawn, and uptownpawn.net.
All right, we got, let me take a look at the old clock on the wall. We got about 15 minutes left in what would be episode number 27. That is episode of the show. It's not a psychotic episode. It's like the one I suffered this morning.
Just one today.
Just one today, so it was a good day. But like I said, any day that begins with a psychotic episode is going to be an uphill climb. This is no exception. Oh, no, I'm burping. Hang on. Oh, I got to taste like poutine. Have you ever eaten poutine? Have you ever eaten poutine, Nadine? Don't answer that. Don't answer. Was that really?
I feel like that wasn't like a legit question.
No, I think it was a really dirty question.
It was a really
He
so
wanted
too.
it to be legit.
I couldn't.
Wait, what was the answer?
Poutine is a menu item here, and they also sell it at the state
It
fair.
is. I actually would like to try it.
It's fancy.
Here, not in like others.
It's fancy
scenarios.
cheese fries. It's fancy, really fancy. And I
Who
had.
doesn't love cheese fries? I'm from Wisconsin.
It's-
Cheese is my favorite
I didn't
food
know
group.
that.
We got to hold that against you, though.
But it's not just
For
cheese
being a
fries.
winner?
Well, come on, we don't want to sell. I don't want to.
Oh, wow.
Hang on. We cannot.
Wow.
We cannot sell poutine short. First of all, I mean it's not just cheese fries. But first of all, the fries.
I never sell poutine.
Well,
Short.
correct. The fries here are ambrosia if they're just plain. I mean, they're like state fair fries on roids.
Okay.
I mean, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then poutine, they take cheese and anything. Yeah, but you can put
And the
cheese
gravy.
You can put cheese on a piece of dog shit, and I probably
Yeah.
eat it. But they get the cheese and the gravy and the spicy sausage. I mean, it's probably why I've gained 20 pounds in 2 months eating at this place. It's not a light fare.
I have to start matching. Anytime you eat here, I have to eat what you eat.
It's
And then maybe I can
Oh,
catch up.
seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe like that episode of Gilligan's Island where Gilligan had to gain weight to get in the Navy and Skipper had to lose weight to get into the Navy. They kind of meet in the middle, so they're going to get rescued.
That's what
But
we should
guess
do.
what happened? Gilligan fucked it up. He fucked it up at the end. Gilligan, of all people. He fucked
Sponsor
Oh,
idea.
my God.
That's a sponsor idea. We need a sponsor to figure out our weights.
you know
Bring
what?
me up, bring you down.
Judd, I just made a Gilligan's Island reference, so they didn't get it. They didn't get Gilligan's Island.
Bye, Judd. Bye, Dawn.
See ya.
They're leaving in the middle of the show. I can't even believe this. We must not be
It's
very
not the. Well,
interesting.
I don't think it's in the middle. It's like the last.
No, they made also the end.
Well, that's pretty
Almost.
shitty though.
We got it.
Pretty
we have to
shitty,
take
though.
our audience.
You better pay cash for that tab, so they're not using your gift card.
We have my favorite 12 and 11-year-olds still here, though, that are listening to your profanity.
Well,
That's
they,
fantastic.
Yes.
we've seen their influence. Child protection is going to be here any minute, by the way.
They look like they're very pleased with the show, though, so far.
Well, how can they not?
Do you guys like the show?
You
We got a
can't
big
really hear
yeah.
us, right?
I can't believe your mom lets you watch shit like this. Get a parental block or something, for God's sake. It's
Oh,
embarrassing.
my God.
You know, this reminds me when I accidentally took my 12-year-old nephew to see Superbad. I was going to turn myself into child protection. I mean, I was so embarrassed. I like slouched on my seat. I didn't know Superbad was so filthy.
Well, wait, have I told you I was
Oh,
brought
super
to...
bad. I thought
Jonah
you said
Hill.
Superman.
No,
Oh,
Jonah
God,
Hill.
Superman, why
Superbad
not?
was so
Jonah
funny.
Hill.
And but dirty as hell.
Dirty and funny.
My
yeah.
nephew was 12. I mean, he aged 10 years that day.
Jeff, my parents
I'm
brought
he's
me...
in prison right now.
They brought me and my
I'm just
younger
kidding.
sister to Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
I was 14, she was 11.
That's.
Wow, that's
Think
like
about
child
that
services.
one.
That is.
Wow. I walked out going, Daddy, what's fellatio?
I mean, yeah. Well,
Is that why you have a porn stash now?
Well, it all comes back. Childhood always comes
It
back.
really does. It recently had numerous times. It's not done yet, Jason.
Okay, so we
Stay
need
tuned.
we need to answer the Twitter question
Oh, yeah.
because
Oh,
I
my
God,
love
we
my
have so
Twitter
little time.
followers.
Yeah, get on your
roll.
Twitter deck and
Okay, the
decipher.
first question, I think that you may have something good for this too.
Yeah, right.
I do typically tweet.
Freudian slip? What was that?
I
Did she say
tweet.
tit?
She did tit that one.
I put tweet and Sid together.
Well, Sid is a tit.
I do tweet about Sid and Sid bits, and I actually kind of get some grief about it. People are like, "Why are you doing this? He's 94 years old." I'm like, if you're walking in the middle of a press conference,
The Sid stories are unbelievable.
or you're calling Jerry Kill an a-hole, or you're doing whatever, like you deserve to be tweeted about.
He heckles
Yeah.
press conferences like he's at a comedy club.
Yeah.
He heckles press
It's his
conferences.
own personal
I'm not making that
interview.
up. Yeah, but he's trying to be just funny. He thinks he's funny.
Yeah.
He'll shout out some inappropriate line at Jack McCloskey or something, or back in the day. And then I look around like, I zinged him, and he's waiting for pats on the back. Like he's the jokester in the back row of high school.
But this isn't just since he's been too old
No,
to
and that's the whole
understand.
thing.
He's been doing it forever, right?
I'm not doing it because
Oh, he's
he's
been a dick
older.
forever.
No, yeah.
He's always been like this. So we have a question from Andy Henningsen, and he said, "I always enjoy your funny notes about Sid press conferences. Do you have a favorite Sid story to share? Do you want?
Well, my favorite is the one that Jim Suhan shared with Judd and I on the old program.
I hope I know this. I
Oh,
think I do.
I saw you put this on
It was
Facebook.
at Billy Rob's Cafe, which was the media dining room at the XL Energy Center. Billy Robb at the time was the media director. He's now at the WCHA, runs
Yeah.
the WCHA. Hell of a guy. One of my favorites. I could use a job. But no, in all honesty, Sid goes through the line, gets to the end, and grabs his bowl of white creamy soup.
Yes.
And he goes and sits down and just shovels it in. He's done with it in like 2 minutes. And he sits back and goes, that's the worst fucking soup I've ever had. And when he grabbed the bowl of ranch dressing up the end of the salad bar and ate the whole goddamn thing with a spoon. I mean, what
And I love that he didn't stop. He didn't stop.
But my other favorite one.
And then he bitched about it. Oh, that's the worst of it.
My other favorite one though is he gets into the media dining room at Target Center and he walks in and sits down with Suhan and the boys and he's got literally tire tracks in the back of his sports car.
Yes, this is the one I've heard.
He's an 84-year-old man and he was not bumped. He was run over.
Run
by
the fuck over,
on First
seriously.
Avenue, on First Avenue, he was run the fuck over right in front of there, right where his goddamn statue is right now. I mean, he just
That's why they made a statue.
he is a goddamn cockroach. He gets up and he just walks.
No. He gets up because Jim Suhan said this on KSTP on the air.
Yeah.
He gets up, looks at the guy, goes, "You're an asshole," and then just walks away. And Jim says that on the air at noon.
Yeah.
You're like, dude,
It's
no,
hilarious.
you can't just throw that one out.
But what a tough son of a bitch.
He
Oh,
is
God.
tough. I
And
think
he was what, 80 when that happened?
Yes.
I mean, that was not
No,
not
it's
a
unbelievable.
way back in the day story.
I mean, Sid has been an asshole to a lot of people in their whole lives, and I'm sure many of them thought, I'm now live that old fuck, I'm gonna piss on his grave. Bullshit, you are. Sid's gonna piss on my grave.
you're for sure going to be gone before Sid is.
Well, thanks a lot.
Well, no, that's because Sid's going to live to 180. So.
I will tell you a nice Sid story, though, because most of them are eating with him.
But by the way, can I say, Sid's always nice to me. I mean, I hear horrific stories about him.
Yes.
He's always nice to me.
And I mean, he calls a lot of people an a-hole. He does a lot of that. But literally, I came walking into like a Patino press conference last year, and he just goes to me, he goes, "Hey, gopher hole." And I'm like,
That's disrespectful.
That's an interesting term.
I'm like, I guess I'm gopher hole. I'm like, at least he knows where I write for, right? This is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
And he
that's what you
goes,
think.
you do a great job.
He wants to bang you. How gross.
So gross.
This is so gross.
That is so awful.
I mean, I've got a website. I have some websites that do that kind of stuff.
You can maybe take that as a compliment if it weren't Sid.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, it worked for what's her face, the dead chick, Nicole. What's her face? No, the dead chick, the Marilyn Monroe ripoff. She was banging an old guy. Worked out for her for a while. Well, she's dead now, but you know what I'm talking about. Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh,
it
my
worked.
God.
It worked for her.
I am not Anna Nicole Smith.
Well, you're not.
Well, a lot of similarities.
You're not
lot
better.
of similarities.
You're not better. Well, you got a touch of Kim Kardashian to you.
I go to what?
Touch of Kim Kardashian to you. There's not much difference there. A whore's a whore. I mean, not you. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about.
Isn't there a thing called Grill the Host? Am I like getting that?
Dude, come on, Kim Kardashian's a worthless.
Not grill the whore. I mean, it's grill the
Kim Kardashian is a worthless human being. I mean, you got to admit, she's a worthless.
How old are you? The 12-year-old over here. Is
Don't
just, I can't.
grow up to be like
Just
Kim Kardashian.
Earmuffs.
She has
Earmuffs.
a brain and she has talent.
Oh, I'm
Well,
scared of
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Well, that's more than I can
But
say
she's
for.
already 2 up on her.
That's what I can say for Kardashian or Chris Humphries.
Yeah.
There was no brain between them. Well, then again, they're both talentless idiots who are making millions of dollars, and I'm doing a show at a bar for $5 an hour.
You should have gotten naked earlier.
I got a tiny dick.
So we got a question about Zach Lofton on Twitter.
I'm just kidding. It's not bad for a white guy. I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. You got to be self-deprecating in this stage. This might be the funniest.
I feel
This might be
like
the funniest
Jerry
radio show
Kill-
anybody's ever done.
Jerry
ever,
Kill
ever.
I can
pulls
make
off the
73
self-deprecating
promos from
better.
I'm telling you right
God.
now, you'll never. People, I rarely fillet myself. I'm not that limber, but right now I'm remembering to swallow a load because this was the best, funniest radio show you're ever going to hear in your fucking lives. So I'm going to smoke a cigarette the second it's over, and I don't smoke.
I don't either, but I want one.
It's I'm telling you, nobody. I'm not going to say I can't be funnier than this. I'm going to say nobody can be funnier than this. I made Stephen Wright laugh on the air years ago, so suck on that.
Oh my
That
God.
is saying
Howie,
something.
suck on
That
that,
is
Howie
saying
Mandel.
something.
But anyway,
Stephen Wright doesn't laugh at himself.
But seriously, we do have a question about Zach Lofton that got tweeted.
who the fuck
in.
is Zach Lofton?
Oh
Is he in a
my-
boy band?
I guess I'll answer this one.
Is he in a boy band?
Nathan Manthe asked what's going to happen with Zach Lofton's scholarship because of his departure. He was the guy that just left the Gophers, that basically, aka, got kicked off the team.
What'd he do?
I don't know
He had that violating team rules. I mean,
Exactly.
he could have murdered somebody. I'm guessing
I
there's
was
a
gonna
team
say
rule.
that's very vague.
I think he had a lot of attitude problems and stuff, and I heard some other stuff about that.
That's
but
not so bad.
So basically,
I can
what
make
they're
that
going to
work.
do for that is they're looking at 2015 kids for spring, and they're including JUCOs and grad transfers. We have a question for you, Dubay.
For another one. I've done enough. Haven't I done enough for the show?
I don't think you really have done enough.
I'm about to give out, but go ahead.
Okay. So David Mueller asked a question about me.
Yeah.
He said, Jeff, Nadine is a nice gal.
Before I think there's no such thing. But let me suspend my disbelief for a second. But go ahead.
I'm very nice, and I think Jason can attest to this.
No, you're just good. You're just better.
So far.
Wait, no,
I'll give you that.
No, you're just better acting nice than most of them are. Most of them don't give a shit. But go ahead.
He said, will you help her find a nice guy?
I am the most pathetic, hopelessly fucked up single guy in the world. How could I possibly find a match?
You don't want
for
to play
somebody-
matchmaker?
How can I play matchmaker for somebody else when I can't? I have the most dysfunctional relationships in the history of the world.
Maybe you'd be better at helping others. Maybe you're just a mess with yourself.
But I don't want to devote my life to helping others. I want to get mine. I mean, that's.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
I think you might need to find a little bit more selfless
Well, maybe
matchmaker.
I do need to work on the steps again. But maybe I do need to look outside myself. But I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, you don't go up to a guy who's got no clue about something. I mean, it's just like asking Bill Musgrave to teach her, the West Coast offense. What's the point of that? It's the blind leading the blind. It's the blind leading.
I feel like like as a woman, you always target guys. Like, say you were like
You
a
target
real,
guys?
like
Really?
if you were like a guy,
You
like with
target
a great,
guys, like the guys who were in the red shirts, the nerds with the little khakis.
I don't-
Target guys.
They're not nerds, and that one kid went viral. That one like Justin Bieber looking target kid. But anyways.
Anyway.
That's a whole
I
fucked
feel
up
like you
story.
target guys like if they have like a great wife and then they have a lot of hot friends. Like you're like if you're a hot guy, you probably have hot friends. They're successful too and whatever.
Really?
I don't know if that's your crowd.
Oh, thanks again. Thanks again. I
Wow.
I used to know Paul Allen. Thank you very much.
That wasn't even a backhanded compliment.
I know
that was
him
just
as
a
well.
backhand.
Well, you think you know. No, I'm just kidding. I love him. It's just a joke.
As do I. This.
Jim Tuhan doesn't. Don't ask Jim Tuhan.
Yeah, don't ask him about it.
But anyway.
I probably won't have any conversations with him, so I think we're
Oh,
gonna
Jim's a
clear
good
that.
dude. You don't. Oh, that's right. You don't like Jim. But he feels bad about that. He's apologized a lot of times. Can't you people move on? Can't you? I mean.
Are you thinking about the Kill article on the flopping around, the epilepsy? Like.
Yeah, he's.
Oh
sorry.
no, that's just. I look at a body of work. I don't look at one article.
Well, he doesn't have a great body either.
No.
But anyway, I digress again. But yeah, yeah, all right. You can have your opinion, Jim. Jim's a good guy. If my only exposure to Jim was his column, and being a sports fan in Minnesota, I think what a dick. He's a guy that's a total dick. But I mean, the columnists are all dicks.
No, I was going to say his job is to be a dick.
Well, yeah, every columnist's job is to be kind of the local sports team's antagonist, whether they want to admit it or not. That is kind of their gig. And if you're somebody who likes the teams, you're not going to like Patrick Royce. You're not going to like Dan Burrow. You're not going to like Jim Souhan. But then once Dan Burrow gets on the radio, you realize, hey, these guys aren't dicks. He's a decent guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But Souhan's still a dick. But
Right, but I agree. The rest of them are very nice. Like I think Dan Barrero's nice.
Souhan is like the salt of the earth.
Yeah. PA's a nice guy. Suhan, no, so not so much.
All right, well, they're not all nice guys.
No.
I'll tell you who's not once we get the show over with.
All right. Here is the next question that we have.
All right.
What is a better quote unquote loss this weekend? Go for basketball or go for football?
go for
That was from
football.
Brian White,
easy.
which I feel like
Yes.
that could be a code name because there are a lot of Brian Whites, I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a legit name to me.
Maybe.
We'd make a
No, he
bet.
actually has a picture. He doesn't have an egghead up or anything.
I think he's right.
I bet that's
He
him.
was the one that called you
Well,
Voldemort. Is
Yeah,
that-
no, yeah. If this guy's really exposed himself on Twitter as a Harry Potter nerd,
Yeah.
he's got no shame. So he's not going on a fake name. But the go for Ohio State game, I'm not going to see him be Mr. Positive, moral victory. But I will say two things. When they were by 14-0, I was feeling 55-7. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
and so for them to pull themselves up the way they did and make a game out of that against a team that is far superior physically, that took some balls, and I did appreciate that. And here's where this game will mean something. If you finish with wins, I mean, you beat Nebraska, Wisconsin, and they say, boy, this team charged to the finish line 8-4, and they almost had Ohio State. They were really onto something. But if they go and lose to Nebraska, Wisconsin, then it's just, well, they lost the last three, and yippee, one of them was close. I mean, it'll be meaningless if you go out and take a guess.
It's all about the next two games.
Yes, you've got to at least win one. And to be honest with you, I think Wisconsin is a different team than they were early in the year. They're hitting stride, and Melvin Gordon is terrifying.
Oh, my God.
He's terrifying.
It's crazy. You just look at his highlights even from the Nebraska game.
He
And I thought David Cobb was good.
I mean, Melvin Gordon, like for his career, was averaging 8 yards a carry, and it went up. You don't. I mean, if your average is 8 yards a carry, you just defer. Hey, coach, I don't want to fuck up my average. Give it to somebody else. No, he takes it and increases his average by going for 16 yards a carry. That's not even human. You can hand it off to him every single play and never have to punt. I mean, by statistical measures. I mean, just a math nerd. But 16 yards a carry?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, most teams can't pass for 16 yards an attempt. I can't walk 16
Mitch
yards without
Leiter-
catching my breath at the next table. It's 16 yards a carry.
That's crazy.
Insane. Yeah,
It's crazy.
We got about a minute left, guys.
Oh,
that's it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, what's this grill the host thing? Do we have
You
to do
get,
that?
you get 60 seconds.
We don't even
Get
have
'em.
we don't even have time to explain.
What do I
We
do?
don't even have time to.
Well, I mean, I'm already sweating enough. I mean, but it's just a chance to like 60 minutes kind of get me all nervous with like questions about being in jail or fucking being a drug addict.
Okay, so let's just
No,
let's
no.
clear this up. Are you in jail right now?
I feel like I am. I mean, I'm sweating. I'm scared straight right now.
Are you addicted to drugs?
No. I'm in recovery.
Are you just a little nuts?
I'm insane. But I'm not. But here's the difference. I am not like dangerous insane. I'm not quirky, adorable insane.
Good.
Yeah, I'm like Father Jim on Taxi. I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, do we get the difference? Do we see the difference?
I know the difference.
Nadine, thanks for coming. I knew it was gonna be fun. You can come back.
I'd love to.
Yeah, you can come back. You're a good female sidekick.
Who can suck it?
Thanks, Jason. Oh God, I buy deodorant.
Next Target purchase.